Okay, so today I'm going to be talking to a fan of Michael Jackson's. If you remember Michael Jackson, you remember the kind of excitement he caused wherever he went, and there were always large mobs of people around him no matter where he went. So she was part of this mob, but what makes the story interesting and unique is the fact that she had several personal encounters with him. She attended quite a few of his concerts, and she also got to go to Neverland. So let's speak to her. So can you tell us something about yourself, where you're from, and how you became a fan of Michael Jackson's? How old were you then, maybe?
Okay, I'm from Israel, and I became a fan of Michael when I was around 9 years old. Um, Everybody loved him back then, and I just really enjoyed his music. And I had the Dangerous album, and I used to dance with my cousins. And also, I saw him on television when he was performing here in Israel, in Tel Aviv, and I was just really amazed. And yeah, that was the beginning.
Okay, so from what I hear, you have had quite a few personal encounters with Michael. So can you tell us something about these personal encounters? And how was it like to meet the man himself personally?
Well, I wouldn't call it personal, um, but I mean, it's not like we had a conversation or that he knew my name or anything like that. So it couldn't be personal. But on several occasions, like you said, I I've gotten pretty close enough to give him some presents or some notes. Um, yeah. Well, the first time that I got to shake his hand and be really up close to him was in '96. Um, my family and I got a chance to attend a history concert in Bucharest, in Romania. And I was staying at the same hotel with my family. And one time, Michael came down the elevator, and everybody, all the people in the lobby, were standing in one line. And Michael would go one by one, and he would greet every person. And that was the first time that that I saw him up close and shook his hand. He was very, very kind. He looked you straight in the eyes, and through his mask and his hat, and you could really, really, really feel like he was there. He was totally there, for the people.
So how old were you then when you met him?
I was 12.
12. Okay, so this was before or after you watched him in concert?
That was before the concert, and then maybe the next night, my entire family attended the concert, and it was a wonderful performance.
Okay, so were you a fan by then at 12?
Yes, I was already a fan. As I said, I started listening to his music when I was 9 years old, and by then I was already a fan. But after seeing him and seeing the concert, I came back home, and it was taken to a different degree. I mean, I'm not sure I wanted to see him again. I didn't know if I could see him again. I was still very small, but and there wasn't internet back then. But after a few years, the internet started developing, and I started talking to other fans and online, and they told me about their personal encounters, and I was like, okay, so this is something that can go on. I can see him again. I mean, you saw him so many times. I've spoken to to a lot of hardcore fans, who are online and in the chat room, and they told me all their stories, and it just made me wanna do it again.
Okay. So how did you meet him the next time then?
The next time, well, it was in '99. Michael was having another concert in Munich and also in Seoul in Korea, but I didn't travel to Korea. This time I went with my mom. We got the tickets and we attended another concert. This time I didn't meet him, but I did see another concert and met a lot of fans that I was speaking to online, and it was very special.
Okay. So this was the second time you met him. Any other encounters that you can tell us about? Personal encounters that you had with him?
Let's see. So basically, after that concert in Munich in '99, Michael Jackson and Friends, it was a benefit concert, and I came home, and that time Michael had an accident on stage, and I was pretty shaken by it, and I went back home and I said, okay, I have to do something with my, I cannot just wait and support him by going to his concerts. I have to also do something by myself. So I arranged the Israeli fans, and we started to visit hospitals on his birthday and visit sick children. And so I made a book with pictures from these visits. And I was just waiting for the next time that I would have the possibility to give Michael the book, the photo album. And that chance was in London in 2001, when he launched his Heal the Kids initiative together with Rabbi Shmuley. And actually, I gave him the album. I traveled with my family to California, and then I asked my dad to drive me to Neverland, and I left the book there, the album there, and that was a year before. And when I was in London, so the rabbi approached me and my friends when we were outside the hotel, and he told us that Michael got a book from Israel, and he loved it, and he showed it to him. And so I learned that he got the book, and by then I had another album for him with more pictures. So I gave that book to Shmuley, and I'm sure Michael got it. And that time, that year in March, Michael was going all around the UK. I mean, he was in Oxford and he was in Exeter. So the fans traveled with Michael, and I mean, we were everywhere, and I was lucky enough to shake his hand again when he was at the record store at HMV. If you remember, outside was also a big mob, and some old lady fell down, and Michael helped her and took her home, and so I got inside.
No, I'm sorry, what? Michael took her home?
Yeah, maybe you saw some pictures of Michael lifting up an old lady from the ground, and around him there is a big mob of fans. I mean, she was caught inside the mob, and Michael helped her, and he took her home in his car.
Okay, that's interesting. So how was it like shaking his hand in the record store?
Well, he was busy. He was looking for the music, looking for stuff to buy, and I didn't really want to disturb him, so I just walked behind him for like a few minutes, and until I got the courage to approach him and just say hi, how are you doing? Shook his hand, and it was really, really nice. He was open. He was like very welcoming. Like he didn't say it, verbally say it, but he was like, oh look, I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get that, and this is,
You mean he was
Uh,
telling you what he's gonna get, or?
he was like, he was like looking at the albums, but he was facing you like he was, he
He was
probably
trying
wanted,
to have a conversation with you or the fans there, is it?
yeah, maybe about the music he's getting. He was
Mm-hmm.
really, he was very nice. It was intimate. It wasn't like we were pushed aside or something. But yeah, but I wasn't feeling so comfortable. I felt I was intruding his experience or whatever. So I just asked him for how he was doing, and I pulled back. I stayed in the back. I went outside. And
Okay.
so yeah. But of course, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you're really close to him or if you're 100 meters from him. You still feel a part of the. You're still in the moment there, and he's always so nice, greeting everybody even from afar. So he gave some speeches that time in Exeter and also in Oxford, but I wasn't inside the university.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and he also went to a fan event that time. It was
Mm-hmm.
MJ Day number 10, and he gave another speech there. And I was very close in the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, the really really nice memories, of Michael, because with the years, Michael had become more and more accessible to the fans. It was very, very hard to meet him during the bad tour, uh, maybe the dangerous tour, even the history tour. But with the years, he became more open and started attending fan parties and, started um, giving speeches, and really needing the fans' support in all kind of initiatives, which aren't just, buying his albums. So it was like, I feel in that way that I was lucky during those years.
Mm-hmm. So how was it like meeting him face to face? How did he look like?
Well, every time you travel and you don't even know if you're gonna see him, if he's gonna be there. He might cancel. I don't know. He might. That time he even had a broken foot. I was surprised that any of it even happened. But then when you see him, it's really surprising. Because you don't expect him to look that good. It's like he. I don't know if it's how he feels inside that is coming out, or his clothes, which were always very nice, or his smile, or just but I cannot explain. He doesn't look anything like the pictures. I mean, really nothing like the pictures. It's
Okay.
different. It's
So there
really
was the
different.
energy about him, is it?
It's the energy and the fact that he's really good looking to my taste. But it was really just seeing him. It's like you really don't believe it, because he's always smiling
Mm-hmm.
and he wants to interact, and what more do you need from a person, to for him to look attractive or beautiful to you. You just have to be willing, to be there and to have an experience,
Yeah.
to
So
share.
tell me about the fans who followed him around. Like you were part of the fan group, right? That followed him around. Who are these fans? Where were they from?
Well, I don't know if I was really part of a group, because some of the fans had a lot of previous past experience, and were a lot more uh,
They were the older fans.
they were older, or Yeah, they were a little older, but basically they were like fans from different countries, groups from different countries. There were the Frenchies and the German girls and the fans from the United Kingdom, and there were some girls from Japan and the Spanish people, the Spanish fans. So these were people, these were fans that we used to follow him. I mean, some of them during the bad tour, history tour, dangerous tour, and I mean, really a long time.
Okay,
And
so you were quite a newbie in the fan
yeah,
group.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I got to know a lot of them online, so I instantly became their friend, and it was, you know, you spend a lot of long hours outside not doing much, so you get to know people and to be friends with them, and to ask them about Michael and so on. And you know, and you're out there, you're out there, and you know, you have to depend on each other. So it was a really nice atmosphere most of the time.
So were they generous with the information? Did they share willingly, or was there competition?
Well, in my experience, they were generous, you know, but sometimes yes, and sometimes no. It really depends, because if it was something public, so they didn't have much to lose, you know, everybody were going to be there anyway. But there were hardly anything public, ever, anything, I mean, anything secret. You know, if Michael went on a public visit, he went on a public visit. There was only one time that I remember that that I was, let's say, withheld information. It was when Michael left a hotel in New York. I think it was in 2002, in the during the Sony demonstration. No, yeah, he left the hotel to go to a private place, and then I was withheld information from a very close friend. But a few hours later, you know, we also found out. I mean, as the day was progressing, you know, everybody started slowly getting there, and so I would say the information was flowing, you know, because really you were dependent on each other. You were in a foreign country, and all you had was, you know, was the other fan, you know, your friend or somebody that you know, because you never know that the next day, you know, you're gonna run out of money, or you're gonna lose your money or something, and you're gonna need me to, you know, to stay in my room, or so it was pretty good, you know. It's not it wasn't.
But how did the fans know? How did the fans know where he's going to be at, or how did they get this information to begin with?
Well, a lot of fans publicly they state that they had friendships and some kind of personal relationship with people close to Michael, bodyguards, security, and stuff like that. So basically they were tipped the information, but most of the time it was you know, with Michael's agreement, because on Michael's public visits he would want the fans to be there. So the fans have gotten the information through his personnel, and that's basically how it happens, you know.
So did you ever get any first-hand information, or did you always depend on the other fans since you knew?
Yeah, I always was dependent on the other fans. And even if I didn't know anybody, you know, so okay, so I wouldn't know where he was staying, so I would miss him giving a wave, you know. But eventually I went there, and I knew I had the tickets to go on the train to Exeter, and I knew that I could get to Oxford, and I knew, you know, you just really had to. You were playing, just had to play with your luck, and some people were more lucky, and some people were less. And it depended on also, like, if you could get a taxi and if you didn't miss him in the stoplight, or if you could run fast enough, you know. So,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay. So what is the longest time you have waited? Just say in a hotel lobby or anywhere. What is the longest time you have waited just to see a glimpse of him?
Well, on many of my trips, I mean, there weren't so many trips, maybe 5 or 6, no, seven trips, but many of them, the least lucky trip was, I think it was, I don't know, you know, it's weird because in New York, he was in a hotel and he didn't have like a window to the street. So you didn't see him for whole days, you know, and he didn't come out for whole days. But then you had the two concerts. So, you know, I
But
saw him live on
would you be
stage.
standing outside the hotel even if you couldn't see him or he didn't have a window facing the street?
Yeah, yeah. You really
Okay.
you did, because he might go shopping, or he might.
Okay.
So then you could follow his limousine, follow his car,
Yeah.
and then.
Okay. So tell me about the concerts. You also attended quite a few concerts of his, right? So can you tell me
Yeah.
something about the concerts that you attended? Which ones did you attend, and how was it like to be in the hall when these concerts happened?
Well, I already said that I was on one history show, and then in Michael Jackson and Friends. And then I traveled also to New York to see both of his shows, the 30th anniversary shows.
Okay.
And well, you know, these shows weren't, it was a Michael show, but it was more like a tribute. There were a lot of artists playing, and it was really special, you know, to be part of his, you know, to see all these artists supporting him and singing his songs. He was in the crowd all that time, and it was most special to be in the same hall together with Catherine Jackson. It was very, very special to me.
Okay.
And then the shows were, I mean, Michael's performance on these shows were excellent. He was singing live most of the time, and his dancing was really, really great. And you have to remember that he hurt his back pretty bad a couple of years before, so it was a
I
very,
think
very big.
it's when the crane fell, right?
Yeah.
The accident that you mentioned just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was very relieving and surprising to see him, you know, still in his element and still being the best out there, you know.
Yeah. So he was still, I think by then he was in his 30s, late 30s, right? He must have been in his late 30s, somewhat.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so tell me, why were you so drawn to Michael? Why did you need to be in his presence? Why did you follow him around wherever he went? Was there a reason, or were you just, you know, for some reason drawn to him, or was there any other reason?
Well, first of all, because I was able to, you know, I was very lucky. My family supported me, and I had the advantages of flying at a very, very low fare, and also I had low rates wherever I went in accommodation. So I was lucky in that sense that I had the support. So I could do it. So, and it was like my family supported my interests, so I did it. That's a technical like reason. So, but basically, he was really everything. He was everything to me, you know. It's like I I was identifying with his cause, and I loved his music, and I really believed that I really believed that I could like give back. I really wanted to give back, and I believed that my presence was meaningful. I mean, I really believed that being there was important. I don't know if it was like that actually, but I believe so. I really thought that the presence of the fans was important for Michael. So
Okay.
yeah.
So can you tell us a bit about maybe the last time that you saw him, that you met him?
I mean, I think the last time. I mean, last time that let's say that I was really close to him as far as touching him or something was after the 30th concert, after the second night or the first night, I'm not sure. And I gave him another one of my photo albums, and I slipped it through his limousine window. And then when I was going to pull back my hand, he grabbed my hand, and so that was like the last time, I think. I mean, I saw him afterwards, after 2001.
Why did you pull out your hand, by the way?
Because I didn't expect to. I was thinking I was gonna slip it. He was gonna grab it, take it, and start reading it or something. But instead, he took it in one hand, and in the other hand, he grabbed me, and I was so surprised. I wasn't expecting any hand to touch me. So it's funny, like. What was he feeling? With all the hands inside. Suddenly you get somebody grabbing you back, and it's quite alarming.
So did he have soft hands?
Well, it was changing. It was changing. That time,
Okay.
I think it wasn't soft. It was soft in '96, but sometimes. Not always, it wasn't always soft. But in '96 it was, but it was always smelling like so nice, and the smell would stick on you for a few good hours.
Okay.
So every time.
Yeah, fans would always ask that, right? How did he smell like?
He smelled like his perfume, everybody knows which perfume he was wearing, and it really rubbed on you, and it stayed that way for some hours, and it was he smelled really, really good. So basically that was, I think, the last time that I touched him. But then I saw him again in New York a year later during the Sony demonstration, and let's see. I think that was the least lucky trip that I had, the Sony demonstration, because he was staying at the Palace Hotel. Like I told you, he didn't have a window out to the street, and he only came out for the demonstration. And I think I only saw him then. And
how was the demonstration like? What was that like, being there for the demonstration?
In New York, I mean, there were two demonstrations that year. One next to the other, one in London and one in New York. The one in London was pretty big, and a lot of fans, because it was like in Europe and was easier for people to travel. And there wasn't a lot of press coverage or anything like that, just a lot of fans on the street. And then Michael appeared on the bus, and he was grabbing all the banners, and just like he was on the second floor of the bus. And some fans were inside with him on the bus, and Michael was trying to reach down and take all the banners, and the fans were crowding against the bus, and he was in a really good mood, and there was music playing, and everybody showing support and you know, and loving the new album. And
So how long did you
uh,
protest for? How long was the protest?
well, the bus was driving, you know, down the street very, very slowly, and then just took off. It couldn't have been more than 15 minutes. And the same thing happened in New York. He came because really in New York, like it was impossible to stop the traffic. So the bus had to drive.
Mm-hmm.
So we were following the bus for a few blocks, but then, you know, it was impossible. He just took off. And then in New York, you know, in New York, he had a bulletproof vest. It was dangerous for him actually to stay a long time. So he just made an appearance and he left.
So he was wearing a bulletproof vest in the New York protest or the London one?
Yeah, in New York.
Okay.
And I think it was that year, later that year, that I also got a chance to get into Neverland, together with a group of...
Tell us about that. How did that happen, getting into Neverland?
Well, for a few years, not many people knew that, but for a few years, Michael had some arrangement with a fan club in the United States that they were invited to Neverland on his birthday. I think the first time was in 1999, and then I think it happened again every year. And then a few years later, you know, the word got out, and I just traveled there, and I was lucky enough to enter together with the fan club, you know, because the gate, the people at the gate.
What year was this?
I think it was 1992, before I had to join the army. I think it was 1992. Sorry, 2002. So the security at the gate, they didn't check who was part of the fan club and who wasn't part of the fan club. Everybody that were waiting outside just got in. I think we were maybe 40 or 50 people all together, and we got to spend the day in Neverland. But Michael wasn't there at the time. And Neverland was really very, very magical, and everything you expected.
So how was it like the first time you got in? How did it feel like? Was there music playing? Because people always say that, right? There's music playing.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It's true. Well, first of all, you drive in with your car and you pass the gate, and then you drive for around maybe a few minutes, maybe 5 or 7 minutes. You have to drive in, and then there is a second gate, and that gate is much more lavish and like with gold and stuff, and then you park your car and you enter, and through a door, you know, there is a little booth, and the first thing you see is like a refrigerator, like a freezer with ice cream inside. So you know, you grab ice cream and you continue to enter the premises, and everything opens, you know, in front of you, and there are lakes, and there is grass and mountains, and you know, and flowers everywhere, and fountains, and a lot of statues, you know, and then, you know, that's basically the entrance to the front house, to the main house. And then there is this house, you know, which is really not so big, and yeah, and there is music playing, all the, like, classical music and soundtracks from movies, you know, like stuff music that Michael likes. It's
so
coming out of,
what
you
did
know,
y'all do there? Were there any activities? What did y'all do there?
Well, we got like a tour all around the grounds. You know, we I think, I don't remember what we did first, but we took the train, and we went all around, and the train takes you to the zoo, and it takes you to the amusement park, and it takes you to the Indian village, and like all around, and you know the surrounding is so peaceful, and it's like mountains, and it's so large, and really you don't see the end of it. And there and like closer to the house there is the the game room, and there is the theater. So we did all that. I mean, the staff took us all over. We also had lunch there, and then some
So what
free
is for
time.
lunch?
It
What
was
was
like
for
barbecue.
lunch?
It was
Barbecue.
barbecue, yeah.
Okay.
And then we had some free time, and then we were asked to go. It was terrible. None of us wanted to leave.
Okay. So how long were you all there, all in?
Like morning until the afternoon.
Okay. Okay. So tell us, when was the last time, I think, was it? Or is there any, because you said you already, the last time you
Oh,
touched him, we already
okay.
concluded that story. So
Yeah,
when was the
yeah,
last
yeah.
time you met him?
Well, then I went to in 2004. I was released from the army, and the next day I flew to California, and you know we traveled to Santa Maria, and we stayed in Los. I think it was, yeah, we stayed in Los Olivos in one hotel, and we would go every day to the courthouse in Santa Maria, and the public was able to enter the courthouse and hear the proceedings. And so I got to be inside a few times, but you know, inside you just have to stay quiet, and you cannot interrupt. Or when Michael would walk in the courthouse, he just walked inside slowly and took his chair in the front, and you couldn't really bother him or like stop him and say, "Hey, Michael, you know, let's have a conversation." So yeah, I mean, that was, yeah. Okay, so one time when he came back from the courthouse, he would go back to Neverland, and the fans tried to get to Neverland before, you know, to drive really fast and get there before him, so we can greet him outside the gates. So that was the last time that I saw him through the car window, and I asked him if he's going to make any music soon, and he said, "Oh yeah, sure, always." And his mother was in the car, and his father was in the car. So yeah, so then he went inside Neverland, and I think that was the last time that I saw him. And he didn't make any music. Then he kind of broke his promise because he didn't make any new music. So.
Okay. So do you have any regrets? Anything that you wish you did that you didn't do at that time?
I don't really have regrets because you did what you felt was right. You know, you didn't want to cross any lines. You know, privacy-wise. You know, and I can't change who I was. Like if I wasn't daring enough, or if I wasn't. But like there were a few times that like the opportunity was really there, and I didn't take it, or maybe I was too young, or I don't know.
Okay. So following Michael around, it must have cost you, right? So how much does it cost an average fan to follow someone around like this?
Well, you know, we're talking about seeing him every couple of years, 96, 99, 2001, 2002, 2004. You have enough time to save up. Okay, it's not like, especially if you're in Europe and the flights are pretty cheap, or you can take a train or you can take a car, it's not a big problem. And when you are together with a group, so the costs are even smaller. You stay together in the same hotel, and it shouldn't cost so much. I know a lot of fans that used to work in an airline, so then when the opportunity came, they could fly for free, so they would in advance work at a profession that would help them support this thing. But this.
So they would find jobs that would actually allow them to travel, if and when they wanted to. Is that it?
Yes. Yeah. Some fans. But if you are following a tour, it's different, because you have to save up, really, But then you are having the most incredible time, like experience in your life. You're following a tour city to city. But in Europe, it's easy. It's easy to travel from one place to another. It's not like us, We have to fly out hours and hours. So basically, it's not like Michael used to pop his head every Monday and Thursday, But you needed to save up and just praying that you would have the opportunity to spend that money,
Okay, so all in all these years that you followed him around, do you think it was worth it? Do you think it was worth what you experienced?
Yeah, I think it was worth it. First of all, it was really a long time ago, and I didn't have anything better to do with my time, and it was the most important thing to me.
I think you were quite young then, right? How old were you?
I was 12, 15, 17, 20, 21, 20.
Okay.
And I have absolutely no regrets,
Mm-hmm.
No regrets.
I think we're kind of almost done with our interview, but is there anything more that you would like to add to this? Anything that you left out at some point?
Well, I just want to, really appreciate, like, I want to express my gratitude to everybody that shared, this dream with me, because it was really like making a dream come true, setting yourself out to do something and making it and doing it and not hurting anybody, just doing your thing, and people support you, and they don't think you're crazy, and Michael was always so gracious and didn't make you feel like you were bothering him. So just really, really thankful to everybody, and I still enjoy, reading up the news about his family and supporting them. I recently attended a concert, a debut concert from Terrell Jackson. He had a concert in Amsterdam, and that was last year, and I traveled, and it was nice. It wasn't like the old days, but it was still very special. That family really has a gift, and I'm just happy to be able to share, like, to be there.
Okay. So are you still a fan till today?
Yes, I'm a fan, and this really helps me. All my friends are fans. I mean, sharing this kind of of love and the same values and the same like outlook, and knowing that we are still going hand in hand together, even if it's not physically outside supporting Michael. So it still has to manifest in other ways. Nothing really changed. So yeah, I'm still a fan, and I take care to be in contact with fans all the time. Nothing really changed.
Okay. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Since I don't know that many people who have such experiences as you do. So this was really, really amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to give this interview and to share my experience. And if you have any more questions, I'm happy to answer.
Well, so far I can't think of any more at all. Maybe we can do a part 2. If
Maybe,
you think of any, then yeah.
Yeah, if you get questions from the people.
Yeah, hopefully. So, okay then, we will end this interview. So, thank you so much.
You're welcome.